This is the QTV Nightly News and I am Jul Denjai. Thank you for joining us, and you can also join us on Q Radio. Here are the headlines. Now, in a historic ceremony marked by fanfare and high expectations, President Adama Barrow on Saturday laid the foundation stone for a new deep-sea port in Sanyang, Kombo South. 7 suspected gang members accused of smuggling over 500 Gambians into the UK have been arrested by UK law enforcement officers. At the opening of a regional course on retirement planning on Monday, Central Bank and YFM officials renewed calls to strengthen both personal and institutional capacities for better financial management across West Africa. The Ministry of Gender and the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Center have begun a 5-day training of trainers to boost national capacity in monitoring and reporting on women, peace and security. These and other stories coming ahead this station. Thank you very much for joining us. And in a historic ceremony marked by fanfare and high expectations, President Adama Barrow on Saturday laid the foundation stone laying for a new deep-sea port in Sanyang, Kombo South. Hailed as a turning point in the country's infrastructural development, the project aims to ease the burden on Port of Banjul. Aliou Cisse was there, and this is his report.
This was the atmosphere as President Barrow arrived at the Sanyang football field, following the formal laying of the foundation stone at the Sanyang beach, an event that officially signaled the start of the construction work on the much-anticipated new deep-sea port in Sanyang, Kombo South. The multi-million-dollar project is being undertaken by Albera Group, a Turkish company, under a public-private partnership in what the government says was a transparent bidding process. President Barrow says the project is part of broader efforts to expand port operations beyond Banjul in response to growing volume of cargo coming to the Gambia. He urged the people of Sanyang to embrace the project with a positive mindset. The president also used the occasion to unveil plans for a new international airport and the long-anticipated Banjul-Barra Bridge before he leaves power.
The Gambia socio-economic progress hinges to a large extent on developments in international trade. This makes it essential that the country's major trade gateways, such as the seaport, airport and telecommunications systems, are developed, maximally utilized and maintained.
Local leaders such as Governor Usman Bojang of West Coast Region, Joint Alkalo Lamin Jabang of Sanyang, and Chief Falalo Ture of Kombo South, respectively, in welcoming the project and expressing the hope that the impact will be beneficial to the people of Sanyang and the entire Kombo South region. They thank the President for the numerous infrastructural projects.
Today marks another clear testament of your visionary leadership in showing how a purposeful government collaborates with the private sector for the benefit of the people and the private enterprise.
Usman Jabate, the Managing Director of the Gambia Ports Authority, says the key benefits of the new deep-sea port for the Gambian economy, which includes boosting maritime capacity and regional trade competitiveness.
Well, the main objective of this deep-sea project lies in its transformative potential to reposition the Gambia as a major maritime hub in West Africa. The importance of developing modern seaport facilities lies in the importance of ports as catalysts for socio-economic development.
Here is Noor Alberak, the Chief Executive Officer of Albera Group.
This flagship project embodies visionary leadership and a shared commitment to a national development. This infrastructure asset is more than a trade hub. It is a lasting legacy for the Gambia.
While the new seaport is expected to transform the community of Sanyang into an economic hub and create thousands of jobs, there is concern among residents of the area that the development may come at a cost. Some fear the potential loss of lands displacement of families, and disruption of traditional livelihoods such as fishing and farming, and whether the promised job opportunities will truly benefit the local youth. The government has sought to allay these fears, and others see it as a sign of progress, as was evident at the foundation stone laying. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
Now, 7 suspected gang members linked to a human smuggling operation that allegedly facilitated the illegal entry of over 500 Gambian nationals into the United Kingdom were arrested by UK law enforcement officers on Tuesday. Mam Nabuka tells us more.
The arrest of the suspects, who are between the ages of 30 and 50, were made following raids carried out by immigration enforcement officers in Greater London and West Yorkshire. The gang reportedly charged over 500 Gambian nationals approximately £5,000 each for their services. This included booking flights, providing housing upon arrival, and helping them secure employment, using forged passports and visas belonging to individuals who had legitimate status in the UK. Many of these individuals, lured in by false promises of employment and a better life in the UK, ended up finding themselves in precarious and exploitative situations. The suspects acquired millions of pounds smuggling them into the UK and disregarding their safety by forcing them to work in the black market business and private homes under their control, leaving them trapped in unsafe situations and exhausted for little or no pay. This alleged money-grabbing scheme is believed to have developed into a wide-scale, dangerous criminal network operating across the country. The gang, which largely targeted Gambian nationals, is also suspected of reusing the fraudulent documents for different imposters hoping to make it to the UK illegally. During the arrest made at various locations, officers confiscated several counterfeit identity documents. Victims have since then been identified and provided with support to initiate their recovery as survivors. The UK's Home Office Criminal Financial Investigation Team is actively addressing the horrors of modern-day slavery by focusing on both holding abusers accountable and recognizing the needs of survivors. They are committed to identifying victims and offering them a safe space to come forward and share their experiences of abuse. The arrests that have been made thus far are part of the government's plan for change, aimed at enhancing the UK's border security. This initiative is already yielding results, with nearly 30,000 individuals without the right to remain in the country returned, alongside a 51% increase in immigration enforcement efforts nationwide. Outlined in the Immigration White Paper released in May, the UK government plans to implement stricter controls, restrictions, and oversight to prevent the abuse and misuse of the immigration system. This initiative includes enhancing border security by introducing digital identity measures for all overseas citizens through the rollout of e-visas and the establishment of new systems to monitor visa compliance. As of now, the Home Office relayed that 6 of the suspects have been subsequently charged and remanded in custody. With investigations ongoing, authorities remain vigilant in their pursuit of justice for victims and the dismantling of criminal networks that profit from human suffering. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
Now, at the opening of a 4-day regional course on retirement planning and personal finance management, officials from the Central Bank and the West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management, WIFEM, on Monday renewed calls to strengthen both personal and institutional capacities for better financial management across West Africa. And Sumana Esonyasi has the rest of that story.
This convergence seeks to enhance retirement planning and financial management capacity of individuals and institutions. It is also aimed at providing a platform for knowledge sharing on good financial management practices with a view to ensure financial security and enhance livelihoods. Dr. Alvin Johnson, the Director of WIFEM's Governance and Institutional Development Department, and Babakar Cham, the Director of Human Resources at the Central Bank of the Gambia, stressed the need for improved financial management and retirement planning. Further emphasizing the urgency and timeliness of such a training program, they cited, among other things, an evolving global financial landscape that requires robust financial management and strategic retirement planning.
The course will discuss strategies for managing your finances, creating a retirement budget, exploring investment options, healthy living, and ensuring financial stability and security in the years to come.
What should be a period of peace can quickly become a season of stress. Retirement planning is no longer optional, it is essential. It demands foresight, discipline, and a holistic approach to financial, emotional, and social well-being.
Additionally, they also called on institutions across the sub-region to institute sound financial policies that promote better retirement planning, and reiterated calls to strengthen the financial management skills and capacity of both individuals and public institutions in the region.
As you may be aware, retirement is a journey unique to everyone. It is not just about financial planning, but also envisioning a future and making the most of your newfound freedom.
It requires that we ask ourselves tough questions early. Will my pension be enough? What are my healthcare options as I go? How can I ensure a comfortable lifestyle without becoming a financial burden to others? How do I stay mentally and emotionally fulfilled in retirement?
With the region hosting a considerable aging population, West Africa faces an uphill task in dealing with challenges within the region's public welfare systems that also impact the quality of life for many. Hence, calls for more robust financial policies and retirement plans. Antoine Sonyasi for KTV News.
We will now take a short commercial break. When we return, we have local and sports news stories for you. Do stay tuned and after the break.
Hi there, my name is Nuruddin Adams, a proud product of this noble institution. Heritage Christian University is not just a learning place, but a community that transforms lives and empowers its students to become compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. My journey here has truly been life-changing, and I invite you to come experience the same. Whether your passion is into business, nursing, midwifery, psychology, communication studies, multimedia technology, information technology, or theology and ministry, Heritage has tailored these programs for both the undergraduate and graduate studies to suit your goal. If you're ever ready to take your education to the next level, then pick up an application form and join us today. At Heritage, you are never alone, as members of the community will stand and work with you every step of the way. Welcome to Heritage Christian University.
Bank, we are more than banking. We build bridges that connect you to pivotal services every day. Do you have government bills to pay to the Gambia Revenue Authority, Comfort, KMC, or the Accountant General's Department? We've got you covered. From payment of customs and domestic taxes to GRA, payment of number plate and vehicle ownership transfer to Comfort, payment of property rates and business license fee to KMC, and payment of MR passport, business registration, fishing license, land fees, sale of assets, lease application, development permits, quarrying royalties, gravel and sand, mining royalties, and a host of other revenue lines to the Accountant General's Department. Walk into any of our branches nationwide and make your payments hassle-free. Either in person or online, simple, secure, and immediate. With Ajib Bank, there is no need to worry about government bill payments for your vehicles, taxes, licenses, business registration, and any other revenue line. Ajib Bank, passionate about your investment. We've got you covered. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. Now to the rest of our stories. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in collaboration with the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, commenced a 5-day training of trainers forum to strengthen national capacity in monitoring and reporting on women, peace and security agenda. Here is Yafa Tugay.
The training will focus on the African Union's Continental Results Framework, CRF, a tool for tracking and reporting progress on women's rights in peace and security. With women making up to 51% of the Gambia's population, their participation in peace building is essential. However, challenges in data collection and reporting persist. The CRF addresses these issues by providing a standardized, evidence-based system that supports policy-making, peer learning, and alignment with AU commitments under the Women, Peace and Security Agenda. Fatou Kinte, the Gambia's Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, and David Anate Akron, Acting Commandant of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, emphasized the significance of the training.
This training will not only help the country to track progress and challenges, but also to report on time. Gender equality and women's empowerment have been recognized by the government of the Gambia as the key factor to achieve sustainable national development, peace, and prosperity.
Evelyn Idroma, the UNDP's Deputy Resident Representative in the Gambia, acknowledges the significant contributions of women in leadership and decision-making roles.
As Gambia undergoes its democratic transition and national reconciliation after the Truth Reconciliation Commission, women's leadership, perspectives, and needs remain essential in establishing a more sustainable and inclusive social contract and fostering greater trust and legitimacy in peace-building efforts.
Participants in the training will acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to support the nationwide rollout of the CRF. Upon completion, they will be equipped to train others within their sectors, expanding the outreach and impact of the framework at all levels of governance and civil society. Sering Modinjai is the Gambia's Minister of Defense.
Through interministerial collaboration, particularly between the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Interior, and the Ministry of Gender, we have worked to increase women's representation in security forces, establish gender focal points, and support gender-responsive budgeting in peace and security programs. But we are also aware that these achievements must be deepened and institutionalized. Capacity building is therefore key, and that is where the workshop plays a very pivotal role.
In 2018, the African Union Peace and Security Council adopted the Continental Results Framework (CRF) as a standardized tool for monitoring and reporting on the implementation of the Women, Peace and Security Agenda across Africa. As the Gambia advances its democratic and peace-building efforts, tools like the CRF are expected to boost accountability and promote the inclusion of women and youth in peace and security decisions. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatu Gay.
Coming up next is Sports News. The Sports Journalists Association of the Gambia, SJAG, joined colleagues around the world to commemorate International Sports Journalists Day on Saturday. This year's celebration has the theme, Evolution of the Sports Press in the Gambia, Challenges and Opportunities. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga was there, and this is his report.
Sports journalism in the Gambia has undergone a remarkable transformation over the past 5 decades. From relying on heavy equipment for radio commentary at the Box Bar Stadium and enduring lengthy processes to prepare reports for broadcast or print newspapers, to facing transport challenges for covering international competitions, all leading up to the convenience of today's digital era. Veteran sports broadcaster Tijan Masane Sise shared an experience covering a basketball tournament in Bamako, Mali in 1984, where he recorded daily reports for Radio Gambia, only to later discover they were never aired.
Mayor James Gomez, who was at the time the president of the Gambia Basketball Federation, flew into Bamako to bring Sadauda's trophy at the very tail end of the tournament. And where did we learn that none of our reports have come into Banjul? It was through James Gomez. So That doesn't happen in this day and age. Today, I could sit at Stade Omnisport in Bamako and call a basketball game live via Facebook Live.
Musa Cisse, a veteran sports journalist, is the former president of the Sports Journalists Association of the Gambia and currently served as the Secretary General of AIPS Africa, which is Africa's wing of the International Sports Press Association, AIPS. With over a decade of experience covering the Gambian national football team in Europe, he has worked at Radio Seed and West Coast Radio. Cisse reflected on the evolution of sports reporting in the country, highlighting changes in equipment, reporting mediums and venues.
By then, you only have the conventional media, it's just radio and the newspapers. Newspapers were not, coming daily. There was no daily newspaper, none. Radios, Radio Gambia, Radio Seed, even to have it covered fully, the 90 minutes match was a problem.
With the digital transformation, sports reporting has shifted dramatically from traditional radio and newspaper coverage to live updates, broadcast, real-time scores, photos and moments shared instantly on social media. Omar Jajo is the president of the Sports Journalists Association of the Gambia.
Sports journalism is not just about reporting scores and game highlights, but it's about capturing the emotions, the struggles and the triumphs of athletes and teams. It's about shining a light on the important issues and controversies within the field of sports.
Kajali Sanko, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Information, and Serif Sedikan, Vice President of the Gambia Press Union, highlighted the important roles sports journalists play in shaping sports development and assured them of their institution's support.
We look at capacity gap and make sure that you are well trained to become professionals, and also look at resource constraints.
We've seen and witnessed the remarkable work that our Gambian sports journalists have done.
Senior journalist Famara Fofana advised journalists to prioritize accuracy over speed, warning that when fake news about players and clubs circulates online, the public relies on journalists for truth. He emphasized that journalists cannot afford to make mistakes and urged them to avoid the pitfalls of sensationalism and the pressure to report first at the expense of accuracy. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Also in sports news, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, for short, finally got underway at the weekend in Morocco, and the fans have already been treated to some fantastic matches. As we report, the only disappointment has been the poor crowd turnout.
Host Morocco got the tournament off to a good start on Saturday in front of a packed and partisan crowd as they took on Zambia. Zambia's Copper Queens, led by the current Women's African Footballer of the Year, Barbara Banda, threatened to spoil the party, with Banda taking just 58 seconds to open the scoring. However, the lead did not last long, as Morocco were gifted a chance to draw level in the 12th minute with a penalty, and Ibtisam Jeraidi promptly scored from the penalty spot. Not to be deterred, Zambia again took the lead through Rachel Kunanjani in the 27th minute. With 3 minutes of regulation time left, the hosts snatched an equaliser for a 2-2 draw, much to the delight of the crowd. Sunday's first game, played in front of a much smaller crowd, also saw 4 goals as an impressive Senegal ruthlessly blew away DR Congo, with all 4 goals coming in the first 40 minutes. Sunday's second game gave us a chance to see one of the tournament favourites, Nigeria. They didn't disappoint as they cantered to a 3-0 victory against Tunisia. Sunday's third and final game saw Botswana unlucky to end up on the wrong side of a 1-0 scoreline against Algeria. Monday sees reigning champion South Africa take on Ghana in the first match, followed by Mali taking on Tanzania. Monday's matches will conclude the first round of matches in the 12-team tournament. Much to look forward to. For QTV News, I am Ade Darami.
Now we will bring you the ongoing debate on the second reading of the Constitution in our 10 p.m. news bulletin. Well, this is all we have for you in this edition, but before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. Now, in a historic ceremony marked by fanfare and high expectations, President Adama Barrow on Saturday laid the foundation stone for a new deep-sea port in Sanyang, Kombo South. 7 suspected gang members accused of smuggling over 500 Gambians into the UK have been arrested by UK law enforcement officers. At the opening of the regional course on retirement planning on Monday, Central Bank and YFM officials renewed calls to strengthen both personal and institutional capacities for better financial management across West Africa. The Ministry of Gender and the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Center have begun a 5-day training of trainers to boost national capacity in monitoring and reporting on women, peace and security. This is all we have for you in this bulletin. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thank you for watching.